Imagine turning on your console and realizing the entire gaming industry has changed. New kinds of games, new kinds of players, a completely new way to experience entertainment. But that shift did not start with Sony. In the early 1990s, gaming was already dominated by two giants, Nintendo and Sega. They controlled the market, they controlled the developers, and they controlled what gaming looked like. Cartridges were the standard. Games were colorful, fast, and often designed for younger audiences. Arcades still influenced design, and storytelling was limited by technology. For most people, gaming was still seen as a hobby, not a cultural force. And then, unexpectedly, a company with no history in gaming entered the industry. Sony. At the time, Sony was known for electronics, televisions, stereos, and music. Not games, but behind the scenes something was happening. Originally, Sony was working with Nintendo to create a compact disc-based add-on for the Super Nintendo. The idea was simple: combine Nintendo's gaming expertise with Sony's compact disc technology. But the partnership collapsed. Instead of walking away, Sony decided to build their own console from scratch. It was a risk, because entering gaming meant competing with companies that had decades of experience. But it also gave Sony an advantage. They were not tied to the past, and they could rethink everything. When the PlayStation launched in 1994 in Japan and 1995 globally, it looked different. Not just in hardware, but in philosophy. Instead of cartridges, Sony used compact discs. This changed everything. Compact discs were cheaper to produce, they could store far more data, and they allowed developers to include full motion video, voice acting, and richer soundtracks. Games suddenly felt bigger, more cinematic, more ambitious. At the same time, Sony made a strategic decision that would define the PlayStation. They targeted developers. Instead of controlling them tightly like Nintendo did, Sony made it easier and cheaper to publish games on their platform. This attracted a wave of third-party developers, companies that wanted more freedom, more space, more creativity. And that changed the type of games being made. Titles like Final Fantasy VII, Metal Gear Solid, and Resident Evil pushed gaming into new territory. They brought story-driven experiences, mature themes, and complex worlds. Gaming was no longer just about high scores, it became about immersion. If you enjoy discovering how technology reshapes entire industries, make sure to subscribe. What happens next turns PlayStation from a newcomer into a global force. Sony did not just change the technology, they changed the audience. Until that point, gaming was largely marketed toward children and teenagers, with bright colors, simple characters, and arcade-style gameplay. Sony did something different. They marketed the PlayStation to young adults. Through edgy advertising, music, and design, they positioned gaming as something cool, something mature, something cultural. And it worked. Suddenly, gaming expanded. New players entered the market, people who had never considered themselves gamers before. At the same time, the hardware itself enabled new experiences. Three-dimensional graphics became standard. Developers could create worlds instead of levels. Cameras could move dynamically. Characters could express emotion. The transition from two-dimensional to three-dimensional was not just a technical upgrade. It was a shift in how games were designed, and Sony embraced it fully. By the end of the 1990s, the original PlayStation had sold over 100 million units, a number that redefined what success looked like in gaming. But Sony was just getting started. In 2000, they released the PlayStation 2. This is where things accelerated. The PlayStation 2 was not just a gaming console, it was a multimedia device. It could play DVD discs. At a time when DVD players were expensive, the PlayStation 2 offered a cheaper alternative. For many households, it became their first DVD player. This massively expanded its appeal. People bought it for movies and stayed for games. At the same time, the PlayStation 2 had one of the strongest game libraries ever created. Titles like Grand Theft Auto 3, Shadow of the Colossus, and God of War pushed boundaries even further. Open worlds, cinematic storytelling, emotional depth. Gaming was evolving rapidly, and the PlayStation was at the center of it. Sony also benefited from something critical: momentum. Developers were already familiar with the platform, and players trusted the brand. That created a feedback loop. More players attracted more developers. More developers created better games. Better games attracted more players. This cycle strengthened Sony's position. By the time competitors reacted, PlayStation had already built a massive lead. And while others tried to catch up, Sony continued refining what worked. They invested heavily in exclusive titles. They built relationships with studios. They ensured that the best experiences were tied to their platform. But the industry did not stand still. Microsoft entered the market with the Xbox. Nintendo shifted toward innovation with the Wii. Competition intensified, and Sony faced new challenges. The PlayStation 3, released in 2006, struggled at first. It was expensive, complex to develop for, and initially it lacked strong launch titles. For a moment, it looked like Sony might lose its dominance, but they adapted. Over time, the PlayStation 3 gained momentum through exclusive titles, improved services, and a growing online ecosystem. By this point, gaming was changing again. It was becoming connected. Online multiplayer, digital downloads, and services became essential, and Sony recognized that. With the PlayStation Network, they began building an ecosystem beyond physical games. Players could connect, compete, and download content directly. This marked another shift from products to platforms. And that shift became even more important with the PlayStation 4. Released in 2013, the PlayStation 4 focused on simplicity, performance, and developers. Sony learned from past mistakes. They made the system easier to develop for, emphasized strong exclusives, and embraced digital distribution. The result was massive success. The PlayStation 4 became one of the best-selling consoles of all time. Once again, Sony positioned itself at the center of the industry. But perhaps the most important factor was consistency. Sony understood what made gaming compelling: great games, strong developers, and a clear identity. While competitors experimented with different approaches, Sony focused on delivering high-quality experiences, single-player narratives, cinematic worlds, and memorable characters. This created a brand players trusted. Today, with the PlayStation 5, that strategy continues. Faster hardware, seamless loading, immersive controllers, but the core idea remains the same. Enhance the experience, not just the technology. And this is where the impact becomes even clearer. Because PlayStation did not just grow within gaming, it helped redefine gaming as entertainment. Games began to compete with movies, with television, with music. Budgets increased and production values improved. Stories became more complex, characters became more human, and entire franchises became global phenomena. Gaming was no longer a niche. It became mainstream, and Sony played a major role in that transition. By focusing on immersion and storytelling, Sony helped shift perception, from games as products to games as experiences. That shift attracted even more players. People who were not interested in traditional gameplay became interested in narrative-driven worlds. People who never owned a console before began to see value in the experience. This created a cycle. More players led to bigger investments led to better games, and better games led to even more players. This is how PlayStation expanded its influence beyond hardware. It became a platform for culture. And as technology continues to evolve, that influence is still growing. Cloud gaming, subscriptions, and digital ecosystems are changing how games are delivered. But the foundation remains the same. Strong experiences drive everything. And Sony continues to build around that idea. Because in the end, PlayStation did not take over gaming by accident. It did it by understanding one thing better than anyone else. People do not just play games, they experience them. And as long as that remains true, the companies that understand experience will shape the future of gaming. And if you look closely, you can already see the next shift beginning. Games are becoming services instead of products. Worlds are becoming persistent instead of temporary. Experiences are becoming social instead of individual. And just like before, the companies that adapt first will define what comes next. If you want to understand how technology continues to evolve and replace entire industries, make sure to subscribe to Replacify. Because the next company reshaping gaming might already be here. And just like before, most people will not see it coming until it has already taken over. And somewhere right now, a new platform is quietly building. Experimenting, improving, waiting, just like PlayStation once did. Until one day, it does not feel new anymore. It feels inevitable. And when that happens, it rarely feels like a sudden takeover. It feels like a slow shift that was happening all along. Until one day, you realize the entire industry has changed again. And when that realization hits, it usually comes quietly. Not with a single announcement, but with a simple moment. You pick up a controller, start a game, and everything feels different, more connected, more immersive, more alive. And you realize that the future of gaming is not coming, it is already here.